Listen, a lion, it don't matter how old it is, it's still a lion. You're not going to go in the cage with it, are you? You know, so listen, everything is for Daniel. Yeah. He always has to go in there, he has to go in there and deliver. But we know the guy he's going to fight, the technique of everything. Understand?
Do you think there's any chance that Daniel stops him? We know it's heavyweight boxing, but can Daniel use his power to maybe hurt Usyk?
Yeah, he's going to try to use his power. Let's see.
Derek Chisora has just shared his shocking insights on the upcoming rematch between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois. On the other hand, Filip Hrgovic said the rematch between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois will be completely different from their first meeting. He believes that Dubois has developed into a much stronger fighter, both physically and mentally. Hrgovic pointed out that Dubois now fights with real belief in himself and has sharpened the parts of his game that were lacking before. According to Hrgovic, this new version of Dubois will be much harder to beat, especially because he has gained valuable experience and learned from his previous defeat.
Who are you thinking? Usyk, Dubois?
Well, look, I think this now totally different fight than first fight. In first fight, Dubois was outboxed, outclassed, and now I think he's definitely different type of fighter, and he had 3 great wins, and his confidence is much better, much bigger. He did something with his chin. I don't know what, but his chin is better, and he's totally different fighter. But so I expect totally different fight and much harder fight for Usyk than the first fight.
Joseph Parker believes Daniel Dubois has shown clear improvement since his first fight with Alexander Usyk and now appears much more dangerous inside the ring. He said the rematch will be a true test of whether Dubois has mentally moved past the controversial stoppage and the debate over the body shot. Parker acknowledged that he personally thought the shot was low, but understands that others saw it differently. He said this second fight gives both fighters a clean slate to settle what really happened and prove who the better man is without any excuses.
Who do you see as the more dangerous opponent though? Usyk or Dubois?
I believe Usyk. I believe Usyk is a great fighter. Dubois is a changed fighter from his first fight. But then this is why we had the rematch, to see whether Dubois can overcome what he got stopped with a jab.
Yes.
He did. A lot of people were also questioning the body shot. I think it was a low blow.
Me too.
And it was below the belt, but a lot of people were saying it was a legal shot. So this is going to determine, whether it was a fluke, that shot, or whether Usyk was just a master.
However, Derek Chisora shared his thoughts on whether this might be the right time for Daniel Dubois to catch Alexander Usyk. He used a vivid metaphor, saying that even if a lion is old, it's still a lion, and no one would willingly step into a cage with one. Chisora emphasized that while everything might seem to be lining up for Dubois, it's still up to him to go in and deliver. He acknowledged Usyk's incredible technique and experience, noting that Dubois is facing a master of the craft.
Listen, a lion, it don't matter how old it is, it's still a lion. You're not going to go in the cage with it, are you? So listen, everything is for Daniel. Yeah. He always has to go in there, he has to go in there and deliver. But we know the guy he's going to fight, the technique of everything. Understand? So let's see what happens.
Derek Chisora further explained that Usyk will look to move around Daniel Dubois, using his footwork and angles to control the fight. He questioned whether Dubois can effectively cut off the ring and stop Usyk from finding his rhythm. When asked if there's a chance Dubois could stop him, Chisora acknowledged the unpredictable nature of heavyweight boxing. He said Dubois will definitely try to use his power to hurt Usyk, but added, "Let's see," leaving the outcome open and uncertain.
He's going to move around Daniel, so let's see if Daniel can cut the ring and see what happens.
Do you think there's any chance that Daniel stops him? We know it's heavyweight boxing, but can Daniel use his power to maybe hurt Usyk.
Yeah, he's gonna try to use his power. Let's see.
Moreover, Kevin Lena shared his thoughts about the rematch, stating that Dubois has a serious chance to win because of his raw power and growing self-confidence. Lena emphasized that the key for Dubois will be staying active throughout the fight. If he stands still or hesitates, Lena warned, Usyk's rhythm and control will quickly take over the tempo of the match. Lena noted that once Usyk finds his groove, he becomes very difficult to stop, so Dubois must never allow the fight to slow down or drift into Usyk's comfort zone.
Massive chance. He's got so much confidence at the moment, and a confident fighter is a dangerous fighter because he believes he can do no wrong, and he's that good. He's strong. He's a big puncher. He needs to be respected. You know, he's got a deceptively, I don't say he's of the skill set of an Alexander Usyk, but he's a good enough boxer to disrupt Usyk because he's got power. He's got a terrific jab. Daniel's got a good jab. A lot of people don't give him praise for that jab, or a lot of people do, but some people don't. I've been in there with him. He's got a very good jab. If he can establish his jab and have the power that he has behind those punches, he could definitely get Usyk's respect. But if he lets Usyk build a rhythm, Alexander Usyk is one of the greatest of our eras. He beat Tyson Fury. You know, obviously the first fight, I thought it was a lot closer. Second fight was close too, but he did what he had to do. He's a great boxer.
Dave Allen is fully backing Dubois to win the rematch, saying the timing could not be more perfect for the younger fighter. Allen said he respects Usyk and has always admired his boxing ability, but he believes Usyk's age is becoming more visible and that he no longer fits naturally at heavyweight. According to Allen, Usyk could still compete well at cruiserweight, but the size and power of top-tier heavyweights like Dubois are becoming too much for him to handle.
And who are you calling for?
You know what? I've been calling for Dubois to win. I think Dubois...
Is that because you think he can win, or is it because you want him to win?
I think, no, you know, Alexander Usyk and I got on really well. He gave me his jacket once. He gave me a coat. It was nice. It was nice of me.
You might ask for that back.
No, I gave it to my dad. My dad don't give me it back. I think he's going to sell it soon. I just think it's about timing, really. Alexander Usyk, nearing 40. He's not physically... He's not a heavyweight. I don't think he's a heavyweight at all. I think he's still...
Despite beating legitimate heavyweights like Tyson Fury,
yeah,
who are real
I don't think he's a heavyweight. I really don't. I think he could do cruiserweight still now. I just think it's the timing. Daniel Dubois is getting better and better all the time. And I just think this is the right time for Daniel Dubois to beat Usyk.
Fabio Wardley praised Daniel Dubois for bouncing back after suffering some difficult losses earlier in his career. Wardley said it takes mental strength to recover the way Dubois has, and now he sees a fighter who continues to grow and improve. He said the current version of Dubois has momentum on his side, and that's something fighters should never underestimate. Wardley also pointed out that Dubois looks more mature in the ring now and has corrected many of the mistakes that once held him back.
If he's proven anything, that he's got some grit, determination and heart, because he's that comeback, that where he had a bit of a fall off with the Joyce thing, and then with even the loss to Usyk and all the comeback and the full U-turn, the full 360 he's done with his career has been fantastic to watch. So look, we're all very big boys, we all hit very hard, and he's obviously getting better and better with each fight. So he's riding on the biggest cloud of confidence at the moment. So yeah, you'd give him a strong chance in that fight.
Chris Eubank Jr. gave credit to Dubois for building a strong run of form, especially after defeating Anthony Joshua. He noted that both fighters are confident going into this fight, but said the real deciding factor will be mental strength. Eubank said that when two elite athletes meet at this level, it often comes down to who can handle pressure and stay focused when the fight gets tough. He believes the one who maintains mental control will be the one who comes out on top.
I think Daniel Dubois, he's on a roll. He's coming off of a massive win against AJ. Usyk's also on a massive roll. So I think that fight's going to come down to mindset.
Frank Warren, who promotes Daniel Dubois, offered a strategic take on the upcoming fight. He said Dubois must use his natural advantages such as size, strength, and a stiff jab from the very start. Warren warned that Usyk will likely try to take control early with pressure and angles, so it's essential for Dubois to establish dominance in the center of the ring. According to Warren, the opening few rounds will be crucial because they will set the tone, and Dubois must not allow Usyk to dictate the pace like he did in their first fight.
Look, how does he go about it? He's got to use what he is. He's a big, powerful man. He's got a good boxing brain. He's got a good jab. He's got to go out and control the fight from the first bell. Usyk will come at him in the first round. Usyk will, he'll look to be breaking his heart and taking the fight to him. That's what he'll do. He's not going to stand off him. So it's going to be who can control the center of that ring.
David Adelai expects a strong contest between the two heavyweights and leans slightly toward Usyk due to his technical skill and ring intelligence. However, Adelai also made it clear that anything can happen in heavyweight boxing. He said that while Usyk is the more polished fighter, he wouldn't be surprised if Dubois lands something big and pulls off the upset. Adelai stressed that one punch can change everything, especially when a confident power puncher like Dubois is in the ring.
What about you?
It'll be good. I think it's going to be a good fight. And I kind of echo what you just said. I think Usyk has enough and does enough to nullify and obviously beat Dubois. But it's not a surprise if Dubois comes out on top. I think that's what makes it so sweet though, isn't it? It's the heavyweight scene, man. Everyone's a big boy. We're all big boys.
George Groves broke down what Dubois needs to do to give himself a real chance against Usyk. Groves said the key is for Dubois to start fast and land meaningful shots early before Usyk can fully get into his rhythm. He explained that Usyk tends to take a few rounds to warm up, but once he does, he becomes increasingly dangerous. According to Groves, if Dubois can hurt Usyk early and shake his confidence, it could alter the course of the fight and keep the momentum in Dubois' favor.
He's going to have to start quick. If he can land on Usyk in those first few rounds, he's in with a chance. Usyk always takes a few rounds to settle in, and he does have that incredible ability to get better after every interval. So Usyk, even when he has a bad round, he usually comes out and has a spectacular round there.
Ricky Hatton called the rematch between Usyk and Dubois the best fight in the heavyweight division right now. He said these are the top two heavyweights going at it, and it's a fight fans deserve to see. Hatton believes that Dubois is entering the bout with serious momentum and real belief, making him a much more dangerous opponent this time around. Hatton noted that the confidence Dubois has gained since their first meeting could push him to perform at a much higher level and truly challenge Usyk.
I think it's the best fight. I think they're the best two heavyweights in the world, and there was a bit of controversy with the last time, which goes with the grain in boxing, doesn't it? A bit of controversy, but no, I think Daniel's got a better chance than he had the first time. Yeah, what with the win off Joshua, that his confidence is massively up. Well, when he fought Usyk last time, he come off the defeat from Joyce, and but now he's absolutely flying. He's got as good a chance, better chance than he had the first time around, I think.
Tony Baleo offered a psychological perspective on the fight, saying that Usyk will need to break Dubois mentally again if he wants to win. Baleo admitted this might be tougher to do in the rematch because Dubois is not the same fighter he was before. He thinks Dubois could actually drop Usyk if he lands clean, but he also believes Usyk's experience and toughness will help him recover. Baleo predicted that Usyk will survive any rough patches and ultimately stop Dubois between rounds 8 and 12.
Alexander Usyk is going to have to beat them into him again. And he's going to have to take his confidence and take his will. Can he do it? Yes, I think he can. Will it be as easy as last time? Maybe not. I think this might be the first time Alexander Usyk's ever had to climb off the floor. Off a headshot. I think he might have to climb off the floor, and I think he rides out a storm. But I think he gets the job done. And I think he stops him probably between round 8 and 12. But I do see Daniel Dubois at the most confident he's ever been. I do think he's a seriously dangerous fighter, but I think that confidence will be taken after round 6, and then he will be a target from rounds 6 to 9. And then if he lasts out to 12, fair play to him, but I don't think he will. It'll be too much.
Shane Mosley shared some tactical advice for Dubois, saying that if headshots aren't landing, he should go to the body. Mosley talked about the controversial low blow in the first fight and called it borderline. He acknowledged that Usyk clearly felt the shot and needed time to recover, which shows that body attacks can be effective. Mosley emphasized that consistent pressure to the body could slow Usyk down and open up other opportunities as the fight progresses.
It's very possible. I mean, Dubois knows exactly where to go now to get a reaction from him. So if you can't hit his head, then maybe I go to the body, right? And if he goes to the body a lot and he's catching, Usyk to the body, yeah, it could be a rough night for Usyk.
Was it a low blow in the first fight?
It was probably kind of close, but I wouldn't say low where you had to go down like that. But I think they was on the belt line, and he felt the power and sit down a little bit. I mean, it's questionable, low blow. It was questionable.
Johnny Nelson believes that rematches tend to favor fighters like Usyk, who are smart and capable of adapting quickly. He acknowledged that Dubois is showing more belief in himself, which is a positive sign, but he still favors Usyk due to his ability to analyze and improve between fights. Nelson pointed out that Usyk is one of the most mentally sharp boxers in the sport, and that could be a huge advantage when facing a familiar opponent like Dubois for the second time.
Has proven time and time again, if he's boxed you once, he actually finds it easier the second time. And the difference between this fight and their last fight is Daniel is now believe in himself, and the success has made him more confident, have more self-belief, have more faith in what he's capable of doing. I think he was like a learning driver the first time we boxed. But the problem is with Usyk, if you fight Usyk once, he's very good at downloading the blueprint of who you are.
Johnny Nelson continued by saying that fans are excited about the rematch, and it's easy to understand why. He expects Usyk to win through consistent pressure, gradually wearing Dubois down over the rounds. Nelson applauded Dubois for his performance against Joshua, noting that he fought bravely and showed improvement. Still, he reminded everyone that Usyk has already defeated bigger and stronger opponents, and that experience counts heavily in high-level bouts like this one.
It's a fight that catches your attention, but I do believe that Usyk could possibly stop Daniel, and it won't be one shot. It'll be an accumulation of consistent, light, subtle pressure on Daniel. But Daniel, again, we see how he goes. We see how he goes on, and I betted against Daniel against AJ, but then AJ didn't turn up. Daniel did. Yeah. And Daniel got the job done. So I don't think that's going to be the case here. You've got two fighters that are going to turn up, so it's going to be skill against skill. And Daniel is naturally the stronger of the two. But I suppose a lot of people, Usyk's been with, have been bigger and stronger than him, but he's managed to negate his way around what advantages they have.
Carl Frampton said the rematch is an exciting matchup, and that Daniel Dubois is clearly a more dangerous fighter now than he was before. Frampton admitted he didn't like how the first fight ended, and felt the controversy left some questions unanswered. Still, he said fans should not underestimate Usyk's ability to adapt and adjust. Frampton expects Dubois to bring a real challenge this time, but ultimately believes Usyk's experience and skill will guide him to another victory.
Really, really good fight. Dubois is a better fighter now than he was in the first fight, and he looked okay for periods in the first fight. Disappointed we've had ended as well, but Crawford, flip me, talking with the wrong fighters again. Yeah. Dubois is certainly a much more dangerous fighter than he was, so he does have a chance to win the fight. But in saying that, I've backed against Usyk a couple of times, and specifically the Fury fights. I don't think I'm ever going to back against him again. I think the guy's a genius and he just finds a way. I don't even think he goes into fights with a game plan. He figures people out as the fight goes on. And yeah, Daniel has a better chance, but don't back against Usyk. I think Usyk wins the fight.
Simon Jordan said this moment belongs to Dubois and sees the rematch as a defining fight for him. Jordan praised Dubois for showing heart, discipline, and strong self-belief, especially during the build-up at Wembley. He called Dubois a fierce competitor and said his confidence is now peaking at the right time. However, Jordan believes the only way Dubois can win is by stoppage, because a victory on the scorecards against a technician like Usyk is unlikely. He said if Dubois wants to take it, he has to finish it.
I said it to Alexander Usyk, and there's no favouritism here. I think it's Daniel Dubois' time. I think he's a ferocious beast. Yeah, absolutely. and I think he deserves all the plaudits. I think what walked into Wembley Stadium was an absolute gladiator, and I'm thrilled for him that he's coming out of himself, growing as a man, becoming more worldly and able to communicate with the media, and I think it's going to be a fabulous fight.
Do you believe that he can get it done inside the distance?
I think he has to get it done inside the distance.
Yeah. You don't think he can win on points?
I think it's unlikely.
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely. But whatever, July 19th, brilliant fight.
Eddie Hearn shared his concerns about the wear and tear from Alexander Usyk's long boxing career, which includes over 200 amateur bouts. He suggested that all those years in the ring may finally be catching up to Usyk. Hearn also highlighted a recurring vulnerability in Usyk's game, his reaction to body shots. He pointed out that Usyk showed visible signs of pain when hit to the body by both Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. While he admitted Dubois' shot was borderline, Hearn emphasized that Usyk took a noticeable amount of time to recover and did not continue immediately, raising questions about how much punishment he can still absorb.
Sooner or later, I mean, he is getting on. I mean, forget the professional fights, actually, which he's had a lot, not bucket loads, but it's the amateur contests as well. I mean, what, over 200 amateur fights. There is absolutely no doubt that Alexander Usyk doesn't like it to the body. I mean, it's the famous low blow situation of last time. Was it low? Whatever. I mean, that was the past. But one thing is for sure, he don't like it to the body. You saw when AJ hit him to the body, he said it was low there, he turned away. Obviously, the borderline shot against Dubois, he was hurt. I mean, one thing's for sure, he didn't cop one in the nuts, right? Whether it was low or not was debatable, but it wasn't. He went down because he was hurt, really, to the stomach, not to the.
And he moaned to the referee,
as he did against for a long time. A long time.
Don Charles, who has trained Dubois closely over the last 2 years, gave insight into Dubois' development behind the scenes. He said Dubois went through an intense, long training camp before the first Usyk fight, and that experience became a crucial part of his transformation. Charles said Dubois has grown into a true champion, and that everything they've done has been part of a bigger plan. He also questioned the integrity of Usyk's faith, saying that invoking God's name while not being fully honest would be a serious issue. Charles made it clear he believes Dubois is now ready to rise to the occasion.
Well, we've been together now for 24 months. We did, that first fight was 14 months camp, and new fighter, new trainer, relationship. Now, 24 months later, can you imagine? And you've seen what he's done in between that time, from the Usyk fight to now, what he's gone and done, and become a world champion. And the personnel he has been on the way, that suggests to how far he's come. And we're going to top it up by, this is all meant to be, this has all been written by God. The God that I worship. I question Usyk about his religious beliefs, because if you're a godly person like he prides himself on, how can you lie behind in the name of God? That's a sin, a big sin.
That's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.